Hi, this is Brad Zinn wishing you a happy holiday. In this sleepy, historic neighborhood near 16th Street and McDowell Road in Phoenix, Arizona, there's a fall nip in the air. But on this street, Brill, there's a sense of anticipation building as the holiday season approaches, because for the last 12 years, a gentleman by the name of Bob Rix has been making special holiday memories for all of us. We'd like you to meet the man that makes possible Lights Santa action. You've lived in this neighborhood for 12 years, but I know that you started many years ago back when you were in high school.
Yeah.
I guess the real question here is, why do you do this every year?
Well, my brother and I started in high school and then just haven't been able to stop.
Do you love Christmas that much?
Oh, yeah,
that it means that much to you to do this every year?
Oh, yeah. Biggest thing that event of my life of the year.
Uh-huh.
Have 4 dogs and no kids. You got to do something to fill up the year. It's like a 5-month project, September through January.
Yeah. How long does it take you to decide each year what design you're going to do, or how the overall look of the house?
Sometimes a week, and sometimes I'll be sitting out here at Christmas time and it'll pop in my head what I'm going to do the next year.
Uh-huh. Where do you get your ideas from?
Christmas cards, wrapping paper, coloring books. One year I got a postcard in July from a friend from Disneyland, and I liked the towers on the castles, so I made one tower and then improvised, and then made all 11 other towers, just improvised on them and made a castle.
You won a number of awards for your Christmas decorating.
Yeah.
Are they still giving out awards, or when did that stop?
City hasn't had a contest since Nixon was president, and they had that energy crunch. All they do now is just put a list in the newspaper, Republican Gazette, telling them where people live.
Do you feel that you and your brother have created more interest in decorating for Christmas, outdoor decoration?
I think so. My brother's been doing it steady since he was in high school, and I lived in an apartment for a while and I didn't do it, but then when I moved in here I started up again.
Uh-huh. You and your brother have a little competition going?
The media comes out and they put it in the paper, and I've had people walk up. I'm in pest control and he's a printer, and I've had people walk up and say, we talk every day on the phone about what we're doing. Last year I had a couple walk up from Sun City, 2 couples walk up from Sun City, and one said, this guy's a lawyer and his brother's a doctor, and they haven't talked to each other in years.
I know that each year you put a sign out in front of your yard that describes the amount of work that goes into doing this. Can you give us an idea this year of how many hours you put in so far, how many lights?
Well, last year I had 52,000, and I'm going to have a few more this year.
Now, is that hours or lights?
Lights. Lights.
52,000 lights.
Last year it was 680 hours, and it should be comparable to that.
Uh-huh.
That includes the inside and the backyard and the time it takes to paint it. I even count when I go to Home Depot to buy the plywood. I count that time.
Oh, sure.
So.
How many sheets of plywood does it take to make one of these tall Christmas trees?
2 sheets. And they're 16 feet high.
Uh-huh.
So it'd be 2 sheets and then a lot of scrap.
And how many trees do you think you have this year?
Well, including all the little ones and the big ones, there's 52.
52.
Yeah.
That's incredible. One for each week of the year.
It does work out that way, doesn't it? Except, yeah, it does work out that way.
And do you try not to repeat yourself every year, or do you carry over from year to year?
Well, the trees I've used before, and I just changed them a little bit. Like this year, I added these to make them a little bit different, and then this year I added the candy canes, and then next year I might put a facade up where you don't see the house at all, and then the following year, like this year, they'll just have partial lights, and next year they might be solid light, or 2 years from now they might be solid lights. Or I've made weeping willows, and I've made date palms. One year I made date palms, and they were all fake, and they were sprayed blue, and a woman and a man drove up, and the woman hollered, "How are you going to get the paint off after Christmas?" And the husband said, "Honey, they're not real trees."
Bob, how many staples do you go through a year?
Last year I went through 28,000. This year I'm using more.
Now, do you have to take these out one at a time at the end of the year?
Yeah. Use a nice pick or a nail.
You have an unusual schedule, running your own business and being able to do this every year. I think folks might be interested to hear what your sleeping schedule is.
If I keep going all day, I might go to bed at 8 o'clock and then get up at 1:30 in the morning and do something inside till 3 or 4, and then come outside at 6:30 and work till 11 in the morning, and then take an hour nap. So I don't have a regular sleeping schedule.
And this is your off season, is that right, for your business?
Yeah.
Is that why you have so much time to do this?
It's slower in the winter.
Yeah. Let me ask you, there's been a lot of controversy over Christmas displays like yours, because there are several in the Valley area. Even a couple of years ago, the City Council addressed the issue and came up with some recommendations of trying to shut this type of thing down. How do you feel about what you do? Do you really feel that you wreak havoc on the neighborhood and create a nuisance?
In this particular neighborhood?
Yes.
Well, I believe every displayer has different problems. I don't have parties all year. I make no waves with the neighborhood. The neighbors that complain the most, one is a drug dealer, and the other one loves their mescaline and pot. They hate it, and they're alcoholics. And I know my parents died from being alcoholics, and I know they have to have an excuse. Even the second year when I had a small display, and it was religious, I had nuns out here Christmas Eve singing Silent Night in French, and the neighbors stood in front of a palm tree and swore. There were no congestion as it is now, so if he didn't like it then, he certainly doesn't like it now.
Well, what would you do if there was an ordinance passed and they said you can't do this anymore?
They can't stop me from decorating. They can control the amount of lights I put up. They can stop people from going in my home, but that'll just give me the incentive. Instead of doing the amount of work I'm doing now, I'll do 10 times as much work, and it'll be a bigger show with less lights, and I'll just rotate it more. The problem is when the house is open and there's a lot of traffic, they get out, they go through, and they leave. Before I opened the house, there was much more congestion and traffic because the people couldn't go anywhere. They'd just stand out there for 20 minutes.
Yes. That is quite a problem. Can you talk about the police patrols that are added in this neighborhood during that time of the year?
I light Thanksgiving night, and that day or the day before they come out and put no parking signs from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Well, people are driving in a residential area. They're not expecting to see no parking signs, so they park, and then as soon as the neighbors see a car parked, they call the police. The police come out, have them move, and then as soon as the street's cleared, then they leave. So then the day after I shut down New Year's night, they take the signs out.
Yeah.
And I've had Christmas weekend, it's real busy. There are 2 policemen on a motorcycle every night, and they sit across the street in a driveway and talk and don't do anything.
This is a tremendous expense. It should be obvious to anybody that has been to your home or even driven by it, for that matter. And many people would tend to believe that you're doing this now for profit, that this is really something that you do because your business is slow during the winter, and so this is a way for you to make an extra buck.
No.
What do you tell people that would
Well,
say
it's not
that?
that my business is slow, because I've been in exterminating for 21 years, and in 21 years I've gone out for 2 years and done physical labor. So it's all priorities. I would rather stay home all year and do no work at all, which I don't work, and pay somebody to do my route. If I wanted to go to Europe every year, I would go out and spray every day, but I don't work all year. So I don't do it. I don't do the Christmas for the money, because I make enough money in pest control to survive. If I wanted to live on Camelback Mountain, I'd go ahead and charge $5 a person, and I could probably get it.
Well, I don't think people realize what it costs to do this. What is your, if I can ask, what is your electric bill run during this period of the year, that as opposed to a normal month in March, April, May?
It's not so much, last year I had 52,000 miniature lights. It's not so much the miniature lights, it's the spotlights and the floodlights and the motorized, display inside. That's where your energy is. It's between $900 and $1,100 above normal.
$900 to $1,100 above normal.
That doesn't seem like much to somebody in a 3,000-4,000 square foot home, with refrigeration. But my average electric bill in the winter is $70 to $80.
Yes, about what an apartment dweller would pay for that time of the year. The money that you collect at the gate as people come through, you put that back into the display next year, don't you? I mean, don't you go out and buy more lights and more decorations and more paint?
I buy at least 10,000 lights every year, because after 2 or 3 years outside in the weather, and if it rains, the paint pops off the light bulbs and you end up with all white lights. So it's just like everything on here is brand new the day after Christmas, I've got to be the busiest person in the valley, because everything right here is last year half price. And everything that's inside is half price after Christmas. And if you got to know what you're going to do in advance, because if you want to completely cover your house in 1 year I had 722 strands of gold garland. Well, if you want to completely make your house gold, you can't go out in October that year and buy garland. You've got to do it the year in advance.
Oh, it'd be way too expensive. Do you get to enjoy Christmas? I mean, you have so many people coming through your home, and you're busy all the time through the holidays. When do you get time for you?
None. It's wonderful, and there are times I can stand out here and almost cry because it's so beautiful, but I can't have any relatives over the whole month. Nobody can come in and sit down and have a cup of coffee. I have to eat off a cutting board, sitting at a folding chair in the kitchen. There's nobody can come in the home. Normally as company, my relatives come after 10 at night to open Christmas presents, and I have people as late as 10 to 3 in the morning sitting out there honking their horns, waking me when I turn the lights on. And I've had people at noon knock on my door and want me to turn the lights on. So there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad, but the good does outweigh the bad.
To go back to the electrical situation for just a minute, you told me once a funny story about you plugged in a coffee pot or something and shut the block down. What was that? What happened?
No, it wasn't a block. I tried to make coffee and I blew a circuit, so I ran an extension cord to the neighbors. And I have a rental in the back that I don't rent anymore because I need that for storage, so I run a cable over the roof, which is an extra 100 amps. But all the lights in the house are on dimmers, and a friend came over last year and I said, don't touch the bathroom light because it's on a dimmer. She turned it up and blew through 3 circuits.
Just very good. Well, don't let us interrupt what you're doing. Go ahead and continue working, and we're going to continue to look around your house a little bit, if that's okay.
Okay, nice talking to you.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye.
When the days of December are numbered and the earth begs the snowflakes to fall, that's the time of the year that Christmas is here, with peace and goodwill for all. How I love that Christmas feeling. How I treasure its friendly glow. See the way a stranger greets you, just as though you'd met him Christmases ago. Christmas helps you to remember, to do what other folks hold dear. What a blessed place the world would be if we had that Christmas feeling all year. Christmas helps you to remember, to do what other folks hold dear. What a blessed place the world would be if we had that Christmas feeling all year.
We're talking with one of Bob Rix's neighbors, Gabe. And Gabe, how long have you lived here in the neighborhood?
Since May of '90.
And how many, is this now your second Christmas that you'll be living in the neighborhood where Bob Rix does his display every year? How has this affected your life during the holidays?
There are a lot, there is a little bit of traffic, but it really, did not cause any inconveniences to us.
During the day, is there any problem during the day, or is it just during the evening when the display is lit up?
Only in the evening.
How about the neighborhood? Is it fairly clean? I mean, do they keep the trash and litter picked up during the time that the display is open?
Yes. In the morning, sometimes we'll see Bob out here cleaning up some of the mess.
And I wanted to ask you if you're familiar with what the city is trying to do in terms of restricting or somewhat outright banning this type of display.
Yes, I read an article in the Republic a couple of weeks ago.
How do you feel about that?
If they want to license him, that's fine, but I don't think they should restrict him from putting up the display.
Do you feel it's a matter of free speech or First Amendment rights?
Oh yeah. If he wants to put this up, fine. It just brightens up the neighborhood. My son likes it. We bring him over and he goes through the house. He gets a lot of enjoyment out of seeing this.
So it adds to your holiday enjoyment then?
Yeah, it does.
Well, the house was built in 1923, and there was 18 panels in this window. And it was a week before Christmas one year, and there were figures inside the window. And I thought, they don't get a good view. And instantly, I put my fist through a panel, which forced me that day to take it out. And I had plate glass windows put in. That was $250. Last Christmas, I had French doors looking into the kitchen, and there was 10 panels in the 2 doors. And I thought they didn't get a good view, so I took all 10 panels out, and it was $76 per door. And then I did the same thing with the living room. People complained they couldn't get a good view with the 2 palm trees, so I had them taken out, had to put a new water line in because they busted that, and I blacktopped it and sealed it, and it was $980. And
The candles and the...
Well, the candles, I burn as many as 56 a night, and if it burns halfway down, you can't use it the next night because you can't run in every 5 minutes and check a candle, so I use all new candles every night. And I burn those fake logs in the fireplace. Well, I'm out here 4 hours a night, and I don't see any of that. That's just for their enjoyment. When it's real busy, you don't need anybody inside because they police themselves. Somebody can't steal something if somebody's in front of them and behind them. And when it's real slow, that's when I have my sister or brother or somebody come down and help watch the inside.
And you pay somebody to clean up the police the area?
A teenager in the neighborhood picks up the litter every day. The block in December is cleaner than it is all year. You can go out there, look right now, and see beer cans and litter. And you can go out here in December and there's not a cigarette butt on the whole block.
Tell us about the display in that room on the table, all those little ceramic houses. Those look to be very expensive pieces.
Well, I have one village display. They're ceramic, and they're bigger and they're more crude, which is twice as big as the one you saw here. These are porcelain, and when it's lit, the light comes through them. So they're $50 to $200 a piece. And I probably have more invested in the little people and trees that go around it to, make it look more like a village than I have in the buildings.
Yeah. Your model railroad that runs around the circumference of that room was model railroading just there for Christmas, or is that something that you like to do all year round?
When I was a kid, my brother and I had an electric train, and a couple years ago I just had the idea to put the train up. So I put all the buildings together, and then I gutted them, took the base off and painted all the inside so that the lights would show through. And the trestle took me a week to build that from scratch, and that was $500–600 just for that. And being the amount of people that go through the house, it takes me an hour and 20 minutes every day I'm lit to get up there and clean the train track from the dust, or the train won't run.
Bob, we'd like to have you take us on a tour of your home here and tell us a little bit about some of the decorations that you have here, and if there are any special stories behind any of these particular decorations, especially the Christmas tree and all of those wonderful balls that you, I believe, have hand decorated. Is that correct?
I did them about 22 years ago. I made them all.
Uh-huh. How long did it take you to do all of those?
2 months.
Wow.
I get obsessed when I do jigsaw puzzles or something like that. I would start at 6 in the morning and work till midnight on them, and that's all I did for 2 months.
Yeah. How many balls are on the tree?
212.
Tell us now how many stuffed animals you have in your collection.
328.
Is that do you add more each year?
No, you
didn't buy all these at one time, did you?
No, I buy a few each year. This year I decided to do a lot of stuffed animals, so all summer I went out to the flea market on Saturdays and bought half of them out there this year.
Why do you think stuffed animals are so popular? Everybody seems to love the stuffed animals.
Well, all little children are given them as gifts, and they sleep with them just like their favorite blanket.
So you think it brings back a lot of childhood memories when people walk through?
I think most of it's for the children, the stuffed animals.
Uh-huh. So tell us about the dining room now. This is just beautiful. It looks like a whole angel theme. How did you put this together?
I've just been buying a couple angels each year, and I had one nativity scene, and then last year I bought another one, and then this year I bought another one. So it looks like I'm going to end up collecting nativity scenes.
Was the angel theme an accident, or did you do this
I planned on it this year. Last year I had just a formal dining room, like a formal dinner table set up. And the year before that I had some large reindeer on it and a lot of candles.
Well, it's just beautiful, Bob. Let's go back into the back room and we'll talk about your train set and your nutcracker collection.
Okay.
All right. I think of all the rooms in your home, Bob, this is probably my favorite because of the display here and the nutcracker case. Can you tell us a little bit about the nutcracker collection?
I started them in 1960 when I was in the Army in Germany. I've been collecting them ever since.
And how many do you have now?
205.
Wow. And how many little houses do we have here on the table?
Well, there's almost 100 here, but I have another village stored in the back that's bigger than this one, but I have to change it every couple of years, alternate.
I see. How long does it take you to put something like this together each time?
It takes a day to make the table and light it, and then a day to decorate it.
Our friends traveling with us all through the house today have been your 4 puppy dogs, sort of your kids. Mm-hmm. How do the dogs respond to the Christmas holiday season with all of the people that you have around?
I keep them locked in the bedroom, and then I put a doggy door through the closet so they can go out the side because they can't go in the yard because of all the lights and the grass.
I see. Well, that would be an unpleasant surprise, wouldn't it?
Right.
Very good. Tell us about the train set that you have here. Now, you put this track up yourself, is that right? The trestle and everything?
I put it up 2 years ago, and that stays up there all year, just as the nutcrackers stay in there all year. I just add the cotton, which kind of dresses it up for Christmas.
Do you play music on the Wurlitzer, Christmas music on the Wurlitzer too?
All evening.
Uh-huh. And this is the only real wood-burning stove or fireplace in the house, is that correct?
They both burn wood, but that's the only one I use.
Oh, I see. So it's nice and cozy when people come through.
Just for atmosphere.
Very good. And more stuffed animals.
Mm-hmm.
Do people bring you things for your display? I mean, do people donate stuff to you?
I had one woman 2 years ago brought a teddy bear that looked like a Santa, and about 5 years ago a woman had worked in a department store and she had boxes of very heavy commercial type garland and stuff, and I used that a few years and then it got real bad and I had to throw it away.
I see. So do you have a favorite part of your display? Is there one?
The village.
The village? This is your favorite part. Well, I think it has to qualify as mine too. It certainly evokes that Victorian feeling of Christmas. I think that's what we're all longing for Christmas to mean once again. Family and community, and a very peaceful community to live in. Okay, Bob, I think it's time that we step out onto the patio and take a look at the backyard.
Fine.
Thanks. I've noticed that you put up a guardrail here. Why is that, Bob?
Well, for the last 5 years that I've had an open house, all I've had up is burning strips and garland, and I've never had a problem anybody getting in the water or any accidents. But I figure now that the city is coming down a little harder on all the displayers that I put this up, which is a little extra protection.
Does your display back here change every year?
Yeah. Front, inside, the front yard and the backyard.
How about this window? How did this come about? Because this is something that you've changed since last couple of years, isn't it?
When I moved in, there were French doors here, and I made it bigger, and I put the window in, and these little windows on the end used to be the doors.
Let's walk back out front, shall we?
Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hi, is this the first time you've been through Bob's house?
No.
How many years have you been coming?
About 5, I'd say.
How did you first hear about Bob's house?
My grandmother. She would come here and my mom brought us.
And is this your little one?
Yeah. Last year he was too little to look at the lights, so we brought him this year.
Did he enjoy it this year?
Yeah, he likes lights.
Very good. What do you think about all this? Is this part of your holiday tradition now?
Yeah, every year we come. And probably will as long as he has it up.
Were you aware that the city was attempting to restrict what Bob is doing and other displayers in the city of Phoenix?
No, I didn't.
How would you feel about it if they made Bob shut this down?
It'd be horrible. I like it. I think everybody likes it that comes here.
All right. Is this the first time you've been through Bob's house?
Third.
And how did you first hear about Bob's house?
I work over at Good Samaritan Hospital, and somebody that I work with knew of it. Showed me the way, and I've been back ever since. I plan this year to bring several of my friends by, and then I can't put very many in my car at one time, so they have to learn the way and then bring their families over. My mother-in-law, she's from Indiana, so she's coming
here.
coming tonight, and then I'll bring each of my kids with a couple of their friends in, and I'm going to make several trips this year.
Very good. Now, do they have anything like this back in Indiana?
Oh, no, they don't.
Well, what do you think about all this?
To me, I think it's just marvelous. I wish my family could see it.
This kind of makes your Christmas this year?
It sure does.
Oh, we've got lots more things planned for Christmas. But this is a very special thing for me. I came in last night just to see if it's. I knew last year there was a petition against it. I didn't know all the details, but I came by last night to see if it was here before I brought her in, and it was. I was excited to know I could bring her.
Very good. Are you aware that the city of Phoenix, well, you were talking about the petition. What would you think if the city made him shut this down?
I would be sad. It's well worth a $1 donation. I know he has a lot of electricity to pay for, all those lights. I mean, I'm happy he's willing to do it.
Do you feel that this kind of wreaks havoc on the neighborhood, or do you think the neighbors ought to put up with it for 3 weeks?
For us, yeah, I'm happy. I would think it would be a little bit hard for them, but I hope they can see to let us come.
Is this the first time you've been through Bob Rix's home?
No, it's the second or third time.
And how did you first hear about Bob's home?
Just from people around town and TV and that type of thing.
What do you think of all this?
Oh, I think it's wonderful.
Will you come back again?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And do you tell your friends about it?
Oh, yes, we've told everyone. My mother's visiting here from out of state, and we brought her, and she thinks it's wonderful.
Very good. Is this going to be a holiday tradition for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Are you aware that the city of Phoenix is going to have a hearing on Bob's home and other displayers in the Valley area and try to restrict what they're doing? And what do you think about that? Well, how would you feel if they shut this down?
I'm very upset about it. I don't like it at all, and I don't like the fact that they've posted no parking along here. You know, I can understand neighbors maybe having problems with people getting in their driveways or that type of thing, but it's once a year, it's for a short time during the year, and it brings so much joy and happiness to everyone. I think it's wonderful.
Well, is this the first time that you've been to Bob Rix's home?
No, this is like the 6th. Ever since I moved up to Phoenix, I heard about this place, and I came over here and I liked it, so we come every year now. Especially now with the kids, we don't want to miss a year, you know. So it's...
How do you feel about Bob asking $1 to go through his home?
Hey, that's fine, you know. It's better than anything else, you know, around here. You got to pay at least, what, 3 on... or 6 for the movies, and you know, and this is like an original thing, you know, so it's, you know, it's all right.
Are you aware that the city is trying to restrict the Christmas displays in the Valley area? How do you feel about that?
Well, the city's always doing all these things, you know, and they really don't know what the people want, you know. It's only what they want, you know, so I don't know. I don't think they should ruin a tradition like this, you know. So.
Do you tell your friends about this and encourage them to come over?
Yeah, when I have visitors from out of town, I bring them over and stuff, and they like it.
So you come more than once a year?
Yeah, maybe three or 4 times, depending, you know.
Lucy, tell us, what do you think about all of this?
I like it. It's a tradition that we're starting to take in consideration because of the kids, and we like it a lot, and so do they.
We'd like to ask you if this is the first time you've been through Bob Rix's home.
Yes, it is.
How did you first hear about this?
He brought me by.
And how did you hear about it?
Well, just from friends, relatives, things like that.
Have you seen this house on television?
No.
Were you aware that he's been doing this for about 10, 12 years now?
No, I wasn't.
What do you think about all this? Is this...
Excellent. Good for the kids to come down and check it out. It's really, I like it. I enjoy it.
Do you think you'd like to come back again this year?
Absolutely.
You'll be bringing friends?
Absolutely.
Very good. And are you aware that the city of Phoenix is trying to restrict the Christmas displays in the Phoenix area? Tell me what you think about that, and how would you feel if they made the Christmas displayers shut down?
I think they shouldn't do it. I think it's a nice thing to see here, and they just shouldn't do it. What do you think, Tom?
Well, they shut down everything else, so I don't know why they should shut down this. I mean, they don't have nothing here anyway, so everybody enjoys it. So if you enjoy something, you should, you know.
Well, they say that Bob is running a business out of his home. He's doing this to make a profit.
No. I don't think that way, no. Nobody thinks that way.
Tell me what you think if they were to make the Christmas displayers shut down.
Oh, I think it'd be really sad for other kids. You know, this is something really special especially for a child's first year, to really get into the Christmas spirit. I think it's really sad for them to want to close this down. I don't think it's fair at all for children or us adults. We like it also.
Yeah, what do you think about Bob charging $1 for you to go through?
I think that's fine. He needs to pay his electricity bill. I mean, you know, I think...
Do you think he's doing this for profit?
No, I think they're doing it for fun. When you go in there, you see all the display. You feel it's from the heart. It seems to me. I mean, I felt it in there. It was really special. It doesn't seem like they're trying to do it for the profit or anything, but you know, everybody needs to make a living and pay their bills, so $1 wouldn't hurt at all.
I'd like to ask you, is this the first time you've been to Bob Rix' home?
No, it's not.
How many years have you been coming?
Since we moved to the valley, which has been 3 years.
And how did you first hear about Bob's home?
My in-laws lived out here before and had heard about it from their friends, and so we looked it up.
Are you neighbors of Bob? Do you live close to here?
No, we don't. We live in Tempe.
Very good. And what do you think about all this? Is this like a holiday tradition now for your family?
Yes, we come out every year, and it's the first thing that we see of the holiday lights.
And what do you think of Bob's display this year?
I like it. I like it every year. That's what we come out to see what he's added and what's new and different. And
do you have a favorite thing this year? Is something stands out this year to you?
No, I'm still just very impressed with his nutcracker collection he has. I like the nutcrackers he's got. And his angels that he's got in the dining room, those are pretty, the moving ones.
Very good. Are you aware that the city of Phoenix is cracking down on the holiday displayers? And tell us what you think about that.
well, I feel sorry for his neighbors, but it's beautiful, and I would hate to see it leave Phoenix.
Well, how would you feel if they made him shut this down?
I'd feel very depressed and sorry that it's gone. That's right. That's another reason we came out again this year, is because I was afraid this might be the last year we get to see it.
How do you feel about Bob asking for $1 for you to go through?
It doesn't bother me. I know he's got to pay for electricity, and like I said, every year that we go through, we see something new that he's obviously bought.
Pretty, isn't it? It's very beautiful. We were impressed. We couldn't believe it. We've never been to one.
Is this your first time through?
This is our first time.
And how did you hear about Bob's home?
I just got married, and my husband lived around here, and he's always gone. And my parents are from Michigan, and they've never seen anything like it either.
So tell us, can we swing over here just a little bit? We'll get these folks. Is this is the first time you've been through it?
Yeah. I never saw something like that.
Do they have
outside the display of not that somebody offered the whole house?
We are actually from Germany, you know. We are American, but you know, we're not familiar with something like this.
Do they have displays like this in Michigan? Is that where you're from?
No, they don't have that. They have outside display, but not whole houses.
Palm Lane had Santa Claus, didn't it? She loved that, because he waved.
Are you aware that the city of Phoenix is cracking down on Christmas displays in the Phoenix area, and they may try to shut this down?
It's so nice for the children. I hope they don't.
Yeah, you do nice weather what you got here. You should be proud to have something like it. You know. Oh, really?
Will you tell your friends and come back?
Sure will. We'll come back again anyway.
How do you feel about Bob asking for $1 to go through?
cheap as it can be, you know.
Yeah, that is worth it because the electric and everything they go through is worth it. As long as they're closed by 10 o'clock at night, you know, I can understand being a neighbor where it might get on your nerves after about the 4th week, but as long as they close at 10 o'clock, I don't see why, you know, they can't put up with it for a couple of weeks.
We're talking with a professional photographer here in front of Bob Rix's home. For the folks that might come by and would like to take a picture of Bob's home, do you have any tips in terms of film speed or shutter speed, that sort of thing, that you could tell us?
Well, film speed is kind of irrelevant when you're getting to a night shot like this. It's essentially you bring a tripod with you and a cable release and plan on, well, I'll give you a ballpark. If you're ASA 100, you're at about a 10-second exposure here. So anywhere between a 10-second and 20-second exposure, depending on the ASA. Just take a lot of pictures, play with your exposure, but it's not that difficult.
Is there a better millimeter lens to use?
That's preference. The wider the angle, the more you'll encompass in your picture. It's really a matter of choice. If it's a telephoto, you're going to get a tight shot.
Do you take a lot of photos of the Christmas displays around town?
Well, today the New York Times has sent me here to photograph this, so it's not something I generally do, but it's a great story to cover.
Great. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I love it. I've been to a couple of the places here. This is great.
As of the time this documentary was edited, the future of Christmas at the Bob Rix home was uncertain. A hearing was scheduled between Bob Rix and the City of Phoenix for December 12th. The outcome will have a major impact on how Christmas will be celebrated in the coming years.